One of the growing real estate websites many potential buyers are using is Zillow. Today in our Realty Rant, Vince Arcuri and Victoria McGuire talk about how Zillow may be able to help you, and there might be some issues as well.
Well,
Welcome back.
I'll tell you, Zillow is probably one of the most popular. You've also got Realtor.com. You've got many other websites that are very popular with consumers. But one of the things we like to caution people about is the gross inaccuracies that you have. These are computer programs that are doing, and a lot of consumers, they go to Zillow, as an example, to get a market value of their home. Well, it's a computer system that just pulls a circle around. And we were talking before we started shooting, if you lived in South Tampa, for example, and you lived in Culbreth Isles, and somebody that lived maybe 2 miles away, they may get included in that neighborhood, and it's going to give them an artificially high price. So you have to be very careful. They're not replacing a human being, and we're finding it to be very accurate. And even on a buyer front, we get calls all the time from people inquiring about properties that they found on Zillow that we've sold years ago. So it's very frustrating for most real estate agents, the systems when consumers use these systems. And unfortunately, it's become a necessary evil in the real estate industry, if you ask me, in my opinion. That consumers have come to rely on it so heavily.
And Victoria, I know you brought some examples today to show the Zestimates are sometimes not exactly what houses are actually going for. So let's go ahead and start. I know you've got some examples from North Tampa. The first one that comes to mind on Michigan Avenue in Odessa. Right. We'll take a look at that one and break down the numbers for us to show the exact difference.
Okay, yeah, the one on Michigan, its estimate was $787,000, and it actually sold just in March for $864,000. That's $77,000 difference. So I would say that's pretty inaccurate.
People need to know this. And the same thing too, look, a gun highway there. What was that? For listed for 1.1. And what was that? The Zestimate was almost 1.1.
Yes, and it sold for $850,000.
Oh wow.
So that's $220,000 difference. Obviously, that's way off.
Well, so you're seeing some that are appraised higher or listed higher, and then you're seeing this estimate sometimes higher or below. I mean, there's no...
It's both ways. They can overvalue homes and undervalue homes. That's why it's so important to meet with a local realtor and get an accurate.
Absolutely, and these are only just two of them. In fact, we've got another one in Odessa as well that you wanted to touch on.
Yes, and this one is way off base. It's kind of scary, actually. It was on Carinthia. Its estimate was only $850,000, and do you know that it just sold for $2.5 million? So if that seller had listed maybe for sale by owner and used Zillow to get his value, he could have left over $1.5 million on the table.
Wow. And finally, there's the bottom one there that we wanted to point out. Another example again. This estimate was way over on this one.
Absolutely, it was. And we just listed this one. It's been on the market about 3 weeks. We listed it at $699,000. Zillow had it at $862,000. So it should have flown off the shelves, right?
Yeah.
Well, according to Zillow, it should have flown off the shelf. But that's one of the most frustrating things for real estate agents is, we're using factual data and the most comparable properties to the subject that we're trying to assess. And then the consumers go straight to a website like Zillow, for example, and they'll say, hey, Zillow says that my home is worth this much more. And, you have to consider banks don't use Zillow as a source of value. Matter of fact, the CEO, there's a wild a story heading around. If you're a real estate agent, you've probably seen this. The CEO of Zillow just sold his personal residence for 40% of the Zestimate. So, I mean, this is the CEO of the company. So I think even they would probably tell you for the most accurate way to get, of course, if you live in Tampa, the most accurate way to get the true market value of your home is to call me or Victoria. And on Realty Rant, by the way, there's a section you could fill out to order that, which we manually do, which is the way to really do it, to go out to the home, to take a look at it, to look at your amenities, just like an appraiser would. The banks, they're going to require an appraisal. A good, reputable real estate agent is going to give you the highest and best price for your home. But once again, you have to, if you go to those websites like Zillow, for example, real estate agents pay to be on those sites. I know I pay. It's a necessary evil of the business. We have to pay to be on our own listings. I actually have to pay $350 a month to be the only agent on our own own listing. And thank God I have Victoria, because if they were looking at my picture, they see this fat, bald-headed guy, I would never get a list. I would never get one, you know?
Get out of here. Well, this was a great discussion that a lot of people do rely on these websites. So thank you for talking about this and helping our viewers. And again, if you want more information, like he said, check out realtyrant.com.